Hello, Helen Smith from Impala, which represents independent music companies across Europe. We're very interested in the whole issue of financial access, and some interesting points to make are that we found that, contrary to the standard belief that the creative sector is actually very high risk, in music it's very low risk compared to other sectors. Even amongst the very small companies, they can't afford to take unnecessary risks. In terms of market access, that's really one of our big issues. The creative sector, music is a very good example, it's becoming more and more concentrated, and the smaller companies who are key to innovation are becoming smaller and smaller. And someone said to me earlier today, well, that's great because that means you're becoming politically more and more important, because the smaller you are, the more important you are. But in actual fact, without market access measures in place, and we might need to get radical, we might need to look at what exists in broadcast, what measures we can take under competition rules, and actually to force market access and to allow individual operators, small companies, artists, direct market access. That, coupled with proper financial access and a realistic look at what constitutes risk and what constitutes a valid investment in the sector, is something we think is crucial.
So can I just ask you a question then about this access point, back to a question I was asking Thomas earlier about where the risks and benefits of the internet are relative to that? Because I think Thomas is right to say that theoretically this great and mythological notion of disintermediation, that you would lose the middleman with the internet, has been replaced by new aggregators, new entities, whether they're Google or MySpace or any number of others. Do you feel then that there is just no better access to market for small music creators, or is it's a little bit better, or is it actually a market niche that we're waiting for somebody to find and found a new company in?
Well, for us, music, the independence, someone was mentioning that the music companies just need to get over and start mourning and get over it, and the new world will bring everything that we've always dreamed of. And that's true to some extent, and smaller companies are really eager to embrace new business models. They're naturally licensors. They don't want to sit on all their catalogues and control distribution like the big companies need to in order to justify their own business models, which are very old-fashioned. But there is this notion of the long tail, and that's very good for small companies who are concentrated in niche markets and developing new artists. But what we are also finding is that chart statistics show that in internet markets there's actually more concentration than in traditional physical retail and on radio, which is already very concentrated. So there is a bit of a dichotomy there, in that the more open the market is, the more vulnerable it is to domination by a few operators. So we need to look at some of those statistics that are becoming available, and maybe music is a good example, which show the opposite of the notion that the internet is our savior and it's diverse and open, because the reality seems to be showing something different.